down way too quick, even for Russell Wilson. He can't get out in time, and even if it collapses so that he can't run out. The defenses have actually are taking advantage of this and are pressuring Russell Wilson to run and to get squished by his own linemen. They're not giving the linemen aren't giving Russell enough time to search for his receivers. So it's pretty much all coming down to defense when it comes to the Seahawks. And some people say defense wins games, but so does offense. So Seahawks need to either do a little bit better with their offensive linemen, find a new strategy, or they're going to be a losing team this season.
Yeah. I mean, look, Seattle is typically a team that does well at home. Again, on the road, they're always a suspect, as we saw. But we'll see what happens moving forward. I mean, Russell Wilson's injury, you could tell he didn't look that hot. Moving out of the pocket and moving around, it was a little bit tough for him. But credit where credit is due for the Rams. I mean, they're moving along their number one overall pick, Jared Goff, slowly but surely. And I think it'll take time for Goff to get in, and finally for on the Rams end to do something. But again, 9-3, it's great showing defensively, but they need to pick it up offensively if they're going to be a contender in the next couple of years. I think that's probably why they're waiting for Goff to come in. But again, that's just me. Oh, there we go. Anyway, moving forward to the other games, as I mentioned, Cardinals blew out the Buccaneers 40-7. Chargers looked impressive, 38-14 over the Jaguars. Falcons 35-28 over the Raiders. Broncos over the Colts 34-20. Now, your Sunday night game, Tom, obviously you were watching very closely as a Packers fan. Vikings come out on top 17-14. Sam Bradford was only there for about a week, 2 weeks tops. In Minnesota, goes 22 of 31, 286, and 2 touchdowns on the day. 182 of those yards to Stephon Diggs from Maryland. What's up? Anyway, and a score, which was pretty amazing. He blew by everybody. And for everyone who had him on fantasy, that's impressive. And of course, at the end and also what happened during the game, as if you were living under a rock, Adrian Peterson got hurt. So, Tom, Vikings 2-0, but they lose Adrian Peterson. How much does he mean to this offense, and how impressed were you with Sam Bradford going over the Packers defense on Sunday?
Well, I was not too happy. Sam Bradford did play a good game. Not too much to say about that. Adrian Peterson, 12 carries, 19 yards. The longest one was a 5. And the Green Bay Packers shut down the Minnesota rushing. It was the passing that we had difficulty with. Our defense has not been that great the past couple of years with the passing, pass rush, or not pass rush, just passing in general, as you saw. It's a difficult time right now for Green Bay with transitioning to get back to that better defense that we had back in 2007, I want to say. I might be wrong. When we played the Pittsburgh Steelers. But with Adrian Peterson, next season he has an $18 million cap, which is not looking too good, especially since he's going to be sitting out 3 to 4 months. He has come back from much worse than this and has actually led the league in rushing. But his age and the amount of repairs he's had to his knees, his ACL, MCL, I don't see him possibly staying with Minnesota next year. They might be looking for a trade or looking for another draft, a better one. But overall, not that disappointing in Green Bay's performance, but it could have been better.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the Vikings, look, to be 2-0 in this position and opening their stadium with a win over the rival Packers is very impressive. And Bradford did look great. It should be interesting how he plays moving forward, especially on the road. At home, it's pretty obvious that you should be able to win your home games, even against tough opponents. But we're going to see how Sam Bradford can carry this team, because I think for the longest time we've considered him ineffective because your biggest asset is availability. And Sam Bradford, over the course of his career, really hasn't been available. I think that's been one of his biggest knocks as a quarterback. It's not that he can't make the throws. It's not like he's not a leader, because we did see that on Sunday. We saw some of his potential as a number one draft pick a couple years ago. It's just the fact that he needs to stay healthy. He needs to at least stay healthy for a whole season, playing an offense that relies on him a lot, which will happen this season because, again, Peterson's gone. So we'll see what happens with there. And Stephon Diggs, if you guys have him in fantasy, we'll see what happens moving forward, how they hook up. The last game of week 2, Eagles defeat the Bears 29-14. It was a pretty close game, but then it just was not Jay Cutler's night once again. Just throwing an interception, getting injured, and then walking away. He couldn't throw anymore, just threw in the towel and said, "You know what, I'm done." Which is, it's kind of alarming for a quarterback that's getting paid $126 million, $50 million guaranteed, to just throw in the towel like that. On the flip side, when you heard Josh McCown, he would not get off the field playing because he said how his brother and his dad get up to work for harder jobs every morning, and that for me, I have a lot of respect for that. But again, for Jay Cutler, man, it's just rough. But we're not going to talk about that. We're talking about the Eagles, 2-0. I mean, how many people predicted that going into the season? And Carson Wentz not playing bad at all. And considering the fact that he has played and Jared Goff hasn't, has a lot of people questioning whether or not the Rams made the right decision. But that's not also what we're debating about. We're debating about, Tom, how good is Carson Wentz, and how good has he been his first 2 games, in your opinion? And what could be the ceiling for the Eagles this season?
Well, I'm not going to lie. Everybody that I've heard that around here that are Eagles fans have been either jumping on the Carson Wentz bandwagon, or they're saying, come on, it's just 2 games. Don't get too excited just yet. What I've seen is that Carson Wentz is a pocket passer. He checks down, he sees his receiver open, and he goes for it. He makes short and precise passes. He went 21 for 34 for 190 yards. His QBR rating was a 61.1. If it was better than that, I would be amazed, but this is pretty average. The average QBR should be a 50 for a decent quarterback in the NFL. It just seems like he is going to be the starter. He is going to be the revolution for the Eagles. What also happened at this game was their defense. Their defense was on fire. There was, let's see here, 2 fumbles by Jay Cutler and Langford that Philadelphia got. I'm trying to remember if one of them went for a touchdown. I do not see something, but they intercepted the ball as well. So their defense is on par right now for NFL teams. But we also have to remember it's the Chicago Bears. They're not doing so hot. Jay Cutler is not an elite quarterback, nor is he an average quarterback. He is on the downhill, and I don't see him being the quarterback at Chicago much longer. I see Brian Hoyer stepping up, taking the position from Cutler this season, and if Hoyer does become the quarterback, he might actually help the Bears a lot more than Jay Cutler. So, Philly, we're going to see where you're going to go from here.
Fair enough. So, Tom, we're going to run them down. So if you want to pull up your Week 3 matchups for this week, we're just going to go straight down the line. Who you got, Texans or Patriots? I got Patriots.
I got Texans by 3 points.
Okay. I got Patriots winning. Cardinals, Bills. Bills need 0-2, need a game. As a fan, I'd never pick any games, but I'll pick them anyway. I'll pick the Bills to go win their first game of the year.
And I'm going to go the other way. I'm going for Cardinals by 3 points as well.
Raiders, Titans in Tennessee. I'll win a game of even matchups. I'm going to go with the home team, Titans at home.
I am actually going to go with you as well, but I feel like Amari Cooper is going to have a big game, so it will be close, but I'm still going Tennessee.
Dolphins and Browns, 2 winless teams. Again, same concept, home games for the team, and it's the Browns. So I'm picking the Dolphins.
Dolphins, no doubt.
Ravens, Jaguars. Jaguars are at home. Ravens 2-0 to start the season. Jaguars 0-2. However, I am picking the Jags to come out. Blake Bortles, I feel, is going to break out this game. And Allen Robinson needs to play a lot better. He only had a couple catches last game. A top receiver last season. I think this will be the game.
I am actually going to go Ravens. I feel like the added boost from coming back 20-2 has definitely got their butts in gear. I got Ravens, and it's going to be a close one.
Lions, Packers. Good game at Lambeau. When these teams play each other, it's usually pretty close. Going with the Pack in a close one, though.
I am going Pack attack as well because when you're playing against division rivals, it is close, especially with Detroit. But they don't have Calvin Johnson, so I'm giving it to the Packers.
Broncos, Bengals. These two teams, again, have potential playoff aspirations, could probably win their divisions. Trevor Siemian actually did not look bad last game. Managed the ball pretty well. However, after a stinging loss last week, I'm going Cincinnati at home.
I am actually going to go Broncos. The Broncos defense is just still as stunning as they were last year. I don't see Andy Dalton doing anything, and I see Simeon still being a good quarterback, so I'm going to go Broncos.
A battle of two former Heisman winners in Cam Newton versus Sam Bradford. Vikings at the Panthers. This is going to be a high-scoring game, I think. I think if Stephon Diggs can duplicate his performance from last game, that's going to open up the running game for Asiata and McKinnon on the ground. However, it is at home game, and I like the Panthers' overall depth at the end of the day. Panthers, close one.
Cam Newton is hungry. He wants this win, especially for the Vikings. I see them winning by at least a touchdown.
Division game, Redskins-Giants. Two teams that really hate each other. We'll see what happens in terms of how physical it's going to get between Odell Beckham and Josh Norman once again. But I do like the Giants. This one, Kirk Cousins, man, he's just way too inconsistent for me to pick on the road.
I agree. They both are going to lose, but if I had to pick one, I'm going to have to go Giants as well.
Rams-Buccaneers in the 4 o'clock window. Buccaneers got blown out last week in Arizona. We'll see how Winston can come back from that, but he plays another tough defensive team from the NFC West in the Rams. It's going to be a really close game. I think the Rams are going to keep it very close, but I like the Bucs at home.
I like the Bucs as well, especially because Tampa is known for its heat and humidity, so I'm wondering if that will actually affect some of the Rams players, especially Todd Gurley, so I'm definitely giving it to the Bucs. 49ers,
Seahawks, a division game that, the last 3-4 years has always been a good one to the end. It's in Seattle, and this is a must-win for the Seahawks if they're going to try to bounce back from a loss that, again, really shouldn't have happened. It depends on Russell Wilson's health. If he's healthy, I'm picking Seahawks. If not, Niners.
If the O-line stands up to the 49ers, that's going to be a huge issue, but I'm going to go Seahawks as well.
The Jets, coming off a huge win in Buffalo, go on the road again against the Chiefs. Fitzpatrick, there's a reason why they signed him. He can sling the ball. He can move, and he's one of the reasons why Matt Forte has had a good start to the season, 196 yards, 3 TDs in 2 games thus far. It's hard to pick a road team, but if anything, I'm picking the Jets over the Chiefs.
Fitzpatrick and Brandon Marshall versus Alex Smith and Macklin. I would actually give it to the Jets also.
There you go. The 425 matchups. Chargers, Colts, two teams that are really struggling. Chargers did come off a good win, though, after blowing their first Week 1 opener against the Chiefs. Colts 0-2, and honestly, this is a team that I picked to be the number 1 team in the AFC this season. Not off to a good start. This is a must-win for the Colts, so I'm picking the Colts at home.
I agree. I'm going to take the Colts as well, but the San Diego Chargers are going to keep it close, especially since Phillip Rivers had a monster game against the Jaguars. So hopefully Andrew Luck can pull it out.
if there needed to be you know how they have the NFL flex when they move games around early on in the season? Because the Bears-Cowboys is